interesting little breakdown before we get into things there. Seemingly a lot of respect from the forZe side of things over towards mousesports, and I mean, fair enough, right? The things that not only these players individually have achieved, but also as a team. You know, the first event they attended as a roster, they pick up the W as well at DreamHack earlier this year, and well, they're going strength from strength, looking to make a run here at the Major in Berlin. I certainly have my money on this team, but at the same time, I think forZe are such a strong roster, and even if they don't win this matchup, I have them in my top 8 to get out of this stage.
I think if there was like a dark horse CIS squad that's going to just rise on up through and actually go pretty far in this major, I think it would be forZe out of the ones present here.
That being said, they might not be the only one.
Right? That's what I was going to say. With that being said, we've already had their CIS brethren getting off to a great start, right? With Simon obviously picking up their win earlier on versus Vitality, and Dream Eaters besting NRG. So we have had a kind of CIS day of Counter-Strike thus far. You take a look at the map pools, and we actually already had Jerry in the interview touch upon how the map pools of these two teams are similar. So I feel like that's going to make this a great series. Obviously, it's best of one anyway, right? So you normally end up on a middle ground map for both teams. But the fact that these guys do share a pretty similar map pool to me means that we're going to end up on a map that is at least good for both teams. It's not going to be an okay, it's not like a middle ground, not like a neutral. I think we're going to end up on like a nice 60% win rate map for both of these squads.
Yeah, I'd love to see Nuke. I don't think mousesports will allow it either way. We're going to have to wait and see how the pressure really is on. Some even saying, I think I would agree, game of the day here, at least from the matchups that were predetermined. Of course, we don't know what is to come in the future, at least not fully, but from the ones that we do know, I would say this, at least on paper, should be the match of the day. forZe, if they can step up to the level that they certainly have shown online, then we are in for a treat.
Oh, most definitely. Now, taking a look at these two teams, obviously mousesports and forZe, the two that we're going to be seeing going head-to-head. Firstly, starting with forZe, because I feel like, you know, they're the less known squad out of these two for the folks watching at home, is that, you know, well, firstly, I want to say I really like that interview piece with Jerry. I think he did a fantastic job of, you know, like sharing some details about the team. Good knack for talking on camera, Jerry. You really nailed it there, mate. But also, I found it pretty interesting because he gave us like a nice little rundown on how he views every player on the side of Mouse individually. And it was interesting to see the first player he thought of. Just, you know, he just goes, well, they've got a great leader, Karrigan. That was it. Like, the first thing springs to mind. When you're in a team with Woxic, forZe, ChrisJ, and Rops, that's quite the compliment.
Yeah.
But
it does feel kind of weird to see mousesports and Rops is no longer the young player in this team, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's now Frozen, and even to an extent Woxic. So kind of a weird change, but you know, a welcome one. This,
mate, it gets even weirder when you think about the fact that Karrigan's start was also back in Mouse in like in a big way, right? Like they got him the gig when he was just a young Danish IGL prodigy looking to rise up in the world of Counter-Strike. mousesports have always been a team that seemed pretty keen to foster some new unexplored territory, right? They went out, they picked up Rops, obviously, from FPL. That was like such a big shocking story when that came out, and now they've kind of done it again, right? Bringing forZe in. Obviously he was a young talent who was known for the longest time, but it wasn't like the interest kind of died down. If you remember, like, he started playing, I think he was like, what, 15 when he started playing at LAN events, and then I know there were like some issues with him joining teams because of his age and things like that, so he kind of faded off the face of the earth for a bit. Thankfully, some time passed. Time heals all wounds, so he was allowed to, you know, get a bit older. We aged him up. He's making his own decisions. He's a grown man now, and he joined the mousesports squad. And ever since getting into this team, he's been a delight to watch, I think.
Yeah, very dedicated. I think this entire team is, and that's one of the positives, I think, right? Like, all these guys are young and hungry, or well, you know, Chris and Karrigan a little more tenured, a little more aged, like fine wine, but the best wine is the oldest wine, I think. I don't really drink wine.
For me, I always look at someone like Frozen, and I think he very easily could have been one of these players who just got lost to like the tier 2 realm of teams, right? And he just kind of stays around there and would maybe like pick up, because he's very, very talented, right? But I feel like it's easy to pick up bad habits if you're kind of like a talented player who is just like slotting around different tier 2 tiers. I love that this is the squad he ends up getting bought into as his like first proper team. Because what a team to be surrounded by, right? You've got Karrigan, you've got ChrisJ, and then you've got Rops, who was kind of someone who was in your same situation, right? Like he's been there, he's done that, he's got the t-shirt, and he knows what it's like to try and make that transition from being like the new kid on the block to to being a staple name within a team. And it really does seem like forZe is one of these players who slotted into this team incredibly well. Just a kind of blank slate for them to work with. And slot him in wherever they feel necessary.
Yeah, that is a very good comparison, actually. I never thought of it like that. But moving over to the forZe side of things, of course, on your screen now, I think we need to definitely give these guys like a bit of a heads up as to what people should expect. I mean, Jerry, in-game leader, very capable fragger at the same time, which is always nice. Z-Power on the AWP is going to be fun to watch. Him up against Woxic. You got a very flashy AWPer, and then you just got like a turret, and that is Z-Power. I think that's going to be a really, really good head-to-head. I wonder who's going to get the better of it. Of course, the map does make all the difference as well. As said, both teams are going to be comfortable on whatever the pick is. They have a very similar map pool. And I think FaceCrack is another name that maybe not the best of this team, but far more well-known in terms of going around in and about these Russian organizations over the last few years. So yeah, definitely some names to look out for on forZe. And I mean, maybe on their own, not anything huge to look at, but as a group, as a team, these guys have achieved so much in such a short amount of time, and also just taken so many either dominant games over good teams or close games versus good teams. Like this team took Liquid to a best of three map of 30 round. Not many teams can do that.
And that's the thing. I would argue that in some weird abstract way, there's similarities between these two teams in the sense that, but like both kind of having like different ramifications. Is that mousesports is full of like young guns who are bought into a top team and have been allowed to find a home there. Whereas forZe, it's kind of like the guys who have just been grinding non-stop for the last 3-4 years, right? Finally like reaping some success from this. So same circumstances, but kind of like different opportunities presenting themselves to both of these teams. And so I feel like, for forZe, this is an event that carries like a hell of a lot of meaning to them. Not just because it's the major, obviously they both care about it for that reason. But as we highlighted with forZe, they've always been plagued with problems. Whenever it's come time to play a big game of Counter-Strike, something's gotten in the way. And finally now, at the creme de la creme of Counter-Strike events, everything's looking good. Like, this is your time to shine. You want to try and raise your stake in the world, right? You want to try and get these invites. You want to try and get directly invited to more events. And one of the best ways to go about doing that is doing well here at the Major.
Yeah, where it all matters, Harry, where every Counter-Strike player's dream is or can be. Not always is, Obviously, teams, someone has to go 0-3. A couple of teams have to go 0-3, Harry. So not everyone can do well, but forZe are certainly a team that many people have to, or at least I have to get out of my top 8. I without a doubt think they're a top 8 team here in terms of what they have shown us. It's just whether they can grasp that and do it here on LAN where it really matters as well, right? They had a run at the minor, did well there.
I always think
this is the true test.
Like, not only are the majors just so important because they're majors, because they're the biggest events in CS, right? Because of the history behind them, but I also think that they can be, in a lot of ways, so like career defining for a significant portion of the year. You think about like when Gambit won the major, right? Yeah. Suddenly they were getting invited to everything. This was a team that very rarely got like many direct invites up until that point. Same with Big, even after they went really quite deep in that major as well over in the playoffs. I feel like, you really can see like the waves come out, like the ripples almost from placing well at a major really does have some ramifications looking to how you do throughout the rest of the year. So for the forZe guys especially, this whole event could have some very big implications.
It can make, Harry, but it can also break.
Yeah,
if you look at the same team that lost to Gambit in the grand final to Immortals.
Exactly.
It's not all good. It's not all pretty, but yeah, I mean, this is it. This is the big time, Harry, the big boys. And hopefully we'll be getting into things soon, although with the fact that the players are all leaving the room, I'm doubting. That's not a recipe for success.
Chris, where are you going, young man?
You've got a game to play.
Here. There's no one told them that this game was meant to be starting now?
They're like, okay, we've done the veto, now we're out. See you guys. We'll be back later.
No, they're all still here at least.
Yeah.
forZe haven't just gone.
So is that a forfeit win?
Yeah.
Default loss, 16-0. North may not have done it, but forZe certainly have. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know where they've gone, Harry. I hope we cut back and they're there. Not empty chairs, but...
there it is. This is my favorite mousesports squad.
What, one that finally you could join?
Yeah.
There's a slot, Harry.
There is.
There are 6.
There's 6 slots open, and I still won't get one. So, yeah, that's pretty devastating. But, oh, look, we're seeing some...
Oh, LMVT's coming to say hi, yeah.
I was going to say, dude, you're not meant to be over here. He's wishing them good luck.
Wait, on... Yeah, that's... that's
gentlemanly
wrong side,
as ever.
dude, wrong side.
He's coaching HR now, right? So...
Yeah. On HR playing a game right now.
Yeah, I think, did he just go over to the wrong people by mistake?
Yeah, Furia are mid-game with Hellraisers right now, and LMVT's just like, yeah, I've had enough of this one. You guys are on your own.
Say hello to his mates in forZe.
That's pretty funny.
You'll have to see it. They've had the golden touch of LMBT now, and maybe he's dropped some like hot mousesports tactics that he remembers from his tenure there. I mean, obviously, he probably didn't. And also, completely different IGLs now, completely different system. It's all been revamped. This is not the same mousesports of old. We can see the map beaters. They're not being done via telekinesis. These have already been done ahead of time. We saw them going down just moments ago. Hugo, where do we end up? Take a guess. 1 out of 2, 50-50.
Inferno.
Nice. And it will be mousesports starting over on the CT side. They picked it.
Yeah, that all makes sense, right? mousesports didn't want to play Nuke. forZe are actually really sick at Nuke, and insta-veto Vertigo for forZe, a map they don't play.
mousesports, now the second team on day 1 to prioritize picking the side instead of the map.
That doesn't come down to their choice, I assume. It just comes down to whoever
I remember
the last veto is.
I remember reading a tweet that said that North had done exactly that. So... I assume that there was like some system that you can pick who goes first, who gets to pick. I guess you like flip a coin, that old thing. So
yeah, I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I would love to hear a bit more about the veto process.
Yeah, it's usually
because I saw it from a very reliable source, so I was like, okay, this
it's usually
is how
just
it's
50-50 on who gets first ban, as far as I'm aware. But like, yeah, every tournament is different. I don't know if the major has a different rule there. Either way, you just kind of take the bans at face value rather than look too deeply into that. At the end of the day, you got to still play both halves. You can't base your game plan on starting on a certain side, really. So I think we're getting into things. I hope mousesports are back in their chairs, because forZe, they certainly look readied up. They've had their team huddle, they've done their high fives, Harry, their fist bumps, all of the above, and they are looking roaring and ready to go into this best of 1 series. Inferno will be our battlegrounds, and mousesports will be the battlers if they are back.
I'm so ready for the camera to cut to Mouse, and they're not there.
Yeah.
But let's see, because we've got forZe in the server. They're locked, they're loaded, headphoned on, huddled up. Everyone's on the same page. They're all here. They're all on time. It's looking good. And now we just wait for Mouse.
The forZe death.
The forZe death.
All right, Jerry.
Hang on, Jerry. I didn't realize you were bringing a little prop on stage with you there.
Little flair, Harry. Got to make sure you got all the strats written down.
It's like intimidation tactics, you know, like how a skull and crossbones used to go on pirate ships. There you go.
Was that scary? That was a scary bit, not the pirates, not the...
I think they were both scary, but it was like a way of like pre-scaring. You know, like, because if you instill fear, you're not thinking rationally. If I see a boat coming up to me and I'm on a boat, I just boat away from the boat. But if I know the boat is full of people trying to kill me, I don't think as clearly in that situation.
That's a very good point, yeah. It's like pre-drinking, but for intimidation.
Yeah, pre-intimidating.
Pre-scare. Nice. I'm going to use that. mousesports are back, though. They've gone for whatever they went for. You know, a nice little bit of fresh air.
Yeah, why did they all go together?
Group huddles are now,
where they all go to the toilet.
Bathroom.
Yeah, together.
Yeah. They share one massive urinal.
I know they're all sharing rooms, all the mousesports guys are, so that they can be together. So I really think there's a sense
one room,
of
one single bed?
One room, and I think it's one bed for the 5 of them, yeah.
Nothing makes a family closer than sleeping together.
You want to stick by that one?
No, not at all. That's not where I thought that was going.
Well, there we go.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Great weather we're having.
Oh, see, the Strafe app votes coming in. The Strafe users clearly in favor of mousesports. Now, I'm going to be honest. I can't get behind it being that one-sided. I feel like forZe could definitely throw some problems the way of Mouse. So what I'm going to do, Hugo, is I'm going to head on over to my app store on whatever device I so happen to have, whether that's the Play Store, whether that's iOS, Android, whatever. I'm going to head over to that. I'm going to download the Strafe app, and I'm going to cast my vote. But then I would have to vote for forZe. I don't think they're going to win, so actually,
Harry, you're
never
already
mind.
10 minutes behind. I'm already on my Strafe app right now, voting for forZe for you.
Nice.
I can't do it twice, but, you know, safety in hypothetical numbers, so we can pretend that you voted. But
That's what I did. That's what I did with
app.
Brexit. Actually, I just pretended I voted.
Oh, so you're the worst.
Yeah. Well, because it's like voting would actually then mean leaving my house, and that would mean stopping gaming. And it's like at the end of the day, if it's one extra vote versus one extra round,
let's not get political.
I'm gonna go for the round.
Yeah, let's leave it stewing like a pork being roasted over 8 hours, Harry.
A pork stewing over roasted.
A1 roast stewed pork.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm a chef.
Pork, dude, yeah. It's looking good. I tell you what, Hugo. I'm hoping this is starting soon.
Me too. I need to get you out of my ear.
So it was Inferno, right? It was the map of choice. And we had mousesports over on the CT side. Now, Hugo, I feel like players to keep an eye on for Mouse on Inferno is I don't want to say like an easy one, because it's easy and it's hard. I feel like anyone could step up. So just give me your reasons. There you go.
He's great to watch, right? Like having that rotational AWP, you know, peeking mid, going back, holding long, swapping to B, just remaining dynamic. And that's something that mousesports are really good at on Inferno. They're really good at like mid-round switching their AWP and not necessarily like just committing to playing a position for all round and being predictable. Like woxic's going to be all over the map when he's got that AWP on the CT side. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. Yeah, no, that would be my player to look out for the side of mousesports. I know it's not traditionally like a heavy AWP map, but still find a lot of success.
No, I can definitely get behind that. For me, it's either going to be, I think woxic is a solid shout. I feel like you can make a case for almost anyone, really, on this mousesports roster, because I also feel like it's going to come down to, like, especially considering they're starting CT side, right? For us to say players to watch, it's just going to come down to who gets players running into them. woxic, good bet. As you say, very mobile, moves around the map, always keeping the opposition guessing. Another man that I think is always a real joy to watch on this map for me is forZe. I think he normally plays over towards that A-bomb site, so do be sure to keep an eye on him there, because I have a lot of fond memories of him locking it down with the rest of his squad over towards A and always being a pretty pivotal player. It's weird, even though he's not someone who you see like always up top of the board, it feels like he's always having a lot of impact with the kills he's getting. And so I think that's quite a rare quality in and of itself, because you've got someone who's got the talent to go and be a big fragger, but he's able to keep it reserved and, you know, only actually go for the big plays when he needs to. And that's why I've enjoyed watching him so much. He's not just like one of these guys who's looking for the big montage plays, right? Very kind of smart, very mature in how he approaches the game. And I do reckon that some of that might come down to some of this mentoring from players like Chris J, like Rops, for example, kind of acting like those more experienced players within the squad. Also, another thing for you, Hugo, I'm full of knowledge. Karrigan is the only German representation or any like German heritage at this, because he's half German, right? He's the closest thing they have to a German player. Yeah.
Damn, that's weird. That's crazy.
So
you're right though. Yeah, I can't think of anyone. You're right. Yeah, Big aren't here, and Sprout went out of the minors. So, damn, dude.
So the closest thing you've got to a German team, if you're coming to watch this in the Mercedes-Benz Arena or here, then the closest thing you've got is Karrigan.
In the German org, at least, right? In the German org. And like that's always, even when it's been a European team, even before Karrigan, I mean, this team has always been supported by Germans because, yeah, mousesports, German org, and, you know, a lot of history in that. And, yeah, again, expecting them to get to the Mercedes-Benz Arena, I would say. So, if we, well, I mean that's top 8. So yeah, if we see that, hopefully we'll have some German fans cheering for mousesports, and everyone, of course, because this is you know, a very mixed group of countries, as is CS in 2019.
Yeah,
so much diversity.
Do you remember when international teams were first like on the rise, and everyone was really hesitant as to whether or not they would ever be successful?
Hellraisers was one of the first,
and now it's like, I don't know, like because that's the thing. There's a lot of international teams. But then there's just still also a lot of like, you know, like country-specific teams. Yeah, I can't think of like what the word would be. So it's, I don't think, you know, we've moved to like fully international, but it's way, way more common than it used to be, right? And that's the thing. I think it's nice. Like mousesports, right? You look at this team, they've got a lot of supporters from all over the globe because they kind of cover all bases, you know? Like they've got a bit of everything in there.
Too sure what the hold-up is for now, as all players are ready.
Yeah, I feel
this is
like
the longest we've had.
I feel very, very lucky that I'm so excited by the fact that this is the major, because it's I just get to sit here and go off on some dumb tangent for half an hour, and then we finally cast the CS. But like, it's been
Pumps
fun.
you up.
Yeah, I'm getting myself excited. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if it's working for anyone else, but I just like watching Counter-Strike Hugo at the end of the day.
Welcome to the club, dude. We're all here for the same reason. And, I mean, for the likes of forZe as well, first major, that's a cool story. It's a cool talking point. Very young player and getting a chance on the big stage, or hopefully. I'm calling this the big stage. We're not actually on the big stage, but this is the major after all. Got to wait till you get that top 8 spot. Easier said than done with some of the competition in this team, in this tournament, as we've already seen. For those who want a bit of a run-through of what they missed today, we have had an upset-filled morning. It was Vitality and NRG both to fall to CIS opponents. Will mousesports, another top team in this tournament, be knocked down by some Russians? We'll have to wait and see. That's just coming up in a second. Of course, G2 pick up their win versus TYLOO, and North decimated INTZ just earlier on today. So we've had some pretty exciting games, and we still have plenty more to go, Harry. Complexity's coming up next as well, which is something that I'm not on our stream, but something that I have no idea where to place them. And I really want to gauge this new North American roster and how good Obo is going to be up against the best of the best. So that will be a bit up later. Definitely keep your eyes open on HLTV for all these games. So many. Fury and Hellraiser are still going on right now, 8-4. We've got confirmation though.
We have 1 minute till the gaming begins, so do not go anywhere. Your time to go and get refreshments, go get beverages, go get food is basically over, because the game is about to be underway.
You can do it in 50 seconds, right?
Yeah, you can go quick. You can go quick. And maybe you're watching this in a kitchen, so just grab up, you know, like get listening. It's fine. We'll talk you through the first few rounds. You're not going to miss anything. But your time's running out. That's all I'm saying. We've left this nice little extended pause in here for you guys, courtesy of me and Hugo.
Yeah.
So
we've been working hard unplugging all the cables just to make sure that things do not go as smoothly as possible, just to allow you to really prep.
Yeah, and so now that we're all ready, now that we're all prepared, we've done our homework, we've got our refreshments, we're ready, the game's ready, we're getting into this. mousesports versus forZe, the map is Inferno, Mouse over on the CT side, and we can already see the buys coming in. FaceCrack and Almaze are going to be picking up utility here for forZe. Armor across the majority of mousesports. Carrigan, the only man still to buy. Imagine he's considering he's putting a bit of thought maybe into this purchase. No one from Mouse is moving yet,
live,
so I'm thinking this is a restart.
Yeah. Z-Power's just going to go kill them all in their spawn.
This is it. This is our first highlight from the B stream thus far.
Yeah, this is actually one of the best rounds of CS I've ever seen played, I think.
So this is why we say Carrigan is a tactical mastermind, right? This strat right here, what he's done is he's countered forZe's just waiting in spawn by waiting in spawn himself. And he knows he's on the CT side, Hugo. So when that timer hits the big fat 0, that's a free round.
I mean, forZe have been tilted so quickly by mousesports hiding in spawn that they're just team killing, Harry. It's falling apart for forZe, and it's all due to the massive brain of Carrigan. Yeah, let's press some F1s. And now the buys are coming through. That's good news.
Now this is real. Carrigan's got utility. He's got the flashbangs and a kit for the squad. Armor on the rest of the gang over in the side of of forZe. Obviously, we saw Jerry and Olmazer picking up the utility for them, so let's see if that continues. This game now, finally, about to be underway.
It's got to be a bit nerve-wracking sitting this long if you are forZe especially. But they look calm and collected, Harry. Have no choice but to be. And here we go. Round number 1. Best of 1. Opening game for these two teams. mousesports versus forZe. It is so important that you pick up that opening win with some of the teams that are now down in that lower bracket. But let's see where this goes. It's going to be a quick early B play for forZe. Running up top, Banana. Frozen. It's going to get spotted. We'll move back towards the corner. There are 3 players on the B site right now. Karrigan setting up flashbangs for his team to re-aggress if need be. He's deep in the CT spawn. And forZe already finding an opening kill. There's the trade. The USP coming back in for Chris, but the nade does chunk him down. Smoke in the cross. Karrigan going to flash his way back in. He does actually catch him blind, but he's not going to get any frags off with this. Meanwhile, there's still a player up on A trying to lurk, but Karrigan is slaughtering them at the back of the coffins.
Yeah, Z-Power now into the A-bomb site. Will get himself a foothold here, and Rops keeping an eye on things. Won't be able to stop him crossing into the bomb site. Bomb on the back of Jerry. And so if he's able to get out of the apartments nice and quickly, if he just barrels straight out, then yeah, he'll get this bomb down. He'll get that planted now. Doesn't hang about, doesn't give mousesports any time. All 4 players are here knocking on the door of forZe in this retake, and they're not going to waste any time. Karrigan and Woxic making quick work of those defending players. 3 kills for Karrigan there in the pistol. And mousesports, they will get that first round on the board.
Yeah, nice confident start for mousesports, especially Karrigan. He really is a bit of a beast with those pistols. Always keep your eye out for him when he has USP in his hand. But at least forZe get the bomb plant. Now this makes you question, what are forZe going to do in terms of economy, right? They could just go for the single AK. That seems to be the more common setup that we've been seeing today, just the solo AK and some pistols. But they're just going to half buy in general, get some CZs, get some armor, bit of utility. You've got just enough to go for a B site execute if you do so, please. mousesports fully armed as well. 3 rifles for them. forZe going quickly up second middle. And mousesports trying to establish a lot of control on Banana with their utility. Flashes and nades going down early on. In the meantime, forZe are going to get crawling through the apartments. They will be able to go for this pit drop. In the meantime, look at this setup. mousesports have rotated off of the site. It's only Rops here. Woxic's left him hung out to dry, and Rops is going to have to do it all on his own. Finds a lot of damage. No kills, though, and his time is ticking low. They will surround him. Woxic getting caught on the long corner as well, and Z-Power cutting off rotations. This is a perfect round for forZe.
Yeah, this is all falling apart for mousesports. Just these 2 MP9s left standing here, and Z-Power in with another over in mid. It's only Chris J left, wondering where this round went oh so wrong for mousesports. forZe about to get their first on the board nice and early, and Chris J not even able to dispatch of Almazer and get out of there with the AUG. forZe now bringing this to a 1-1 scoreline.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate misrotation from mousesports. They early put a player on, or right before forZe came through the apartments, mousesports rotated a player towards B, and then as a result, Woxic had to move off of the site to watch long, and in transition, when mousesports were moving to a different setup, forZe dropped pit. Very unfortunate timing. mousesports going to force the issue with some deagles and armor, but it's forZe that are armed to the teeth, equipped with M4s and AUGs. I mean, 3 weapons, Harry. mousesports are going to have a lot to do in this round, and Molotov coming to cut off Chris J's retreat. It's actually a double molly as well. There's no way he could escape through that. Had to fight to his death. 5-on-4, and forZe looking to just walk right into this B site. They don't have the bomb, but at any point they can just bail and go back towards A if things don't go their way. They don't know if mousesports have a stack or not. 2 players here, including Karrigan in the CT spawn. Frozen hits a 1-deeg, and forZe will get the trade, but they might just back off here. That bomb is still down ramp, but no more kills coming their way, so may as well still commit.
Yeah, they'll just keep running the gauntlet on this one. The deagle through this smoke on Woxic, not able to find anything. Bomb now going down, and Rops is a long way from this B-bomb site, armed with just a deeg and armor. He's likely going to try and hold on to this into the following round. So forZe, a 2-1 start here. They managed to keep 4 players alive in spite of running into this force buy from mousesports. And this is them off to a good start, right? They're going to move 2-1 up. It should be 3-1 before we see that initial buy for mousesports come in. And as a result, this money on the T side could just swell out of control within these first few rounds as long as they're able to keep them clean.
So this is the nice, confident lead that forZe were wanted on this terrorist half. 4 rifles surviving, and as said, Rob's holding onto his deagle. Still another USP round though for mousesports before they're even going to have rifles, and that's kind of the rough part, right? You win pistol, you lose the follow-up, especially as a CT on a map that's so money dependent, so important to have those Molotovs and all that utility to throw down and take banana control. It's going to leave mousesports, even with their first buy in round number 5, being a bit whack, Harry. They're not going to have a lot of money to play with, so AWP is not going to be a factor unless Woxit wants to go for a glass cannon. mousesports heavy mid setup, hoping forZe just run right up, but instead they've set all their utility towards B, so much of it as well. Luckily enough, mousesports can just hunt. That bomb is down mid, they've dropped it, but they can't really pick that one back up. forZe going to flash their way into middle and look to pick that bomb up and take it towards the B site. In the meantime, Repeak's coming through, couple of kills, but this is where the round should just get locked in for forZe. Ops is but a shot away from death, and that nade puts him down to 1. I mean, Jerry's already run through B, and he's now in CT spawn. So Rops in a similar path to the last round, just looking to save or get some exits.
Yeah, we see the bomb go down over towards the B side of things. That is the round very much solidified now. Rops, can he get away with anything here? He would absolutely love to get his hands on this M4 down in the bottom of mid, but with 1 point of health to his name, and Jerry deep in the apartments, or at least about to be in the apartments, he is going to struggle to find anything here, Rops.
He's got to run as well. That bomb's going to kill him from here. Surely. Maybe not behind this thick wall, but
I think he might be okay.
Either way, even if he moves forward, there's face crack on the other side, and there's the kill. Regardless, it's another round for forZe. Nothing surprising there, considering how that mid fight went. But yeah, mousesports get a couple of kills. It's not the end of the world. The guns are protected, though, and that will be forZe running away with the lead here. As said, mousesports are coming back in with a buy, but also as said, it's not going to be the best of buys. They've only got 2,400 loss on top of the around 2K they saved. So as you can see, AWP isn't a factor, and they're going to have to make a decision between things like kits or Molotovs. Not both. Not even necessarily either.
Oh, yeah.
Classic, really.
Yeah, I could tell. I could just tell, man. All the players are looking at each other, and I was like, this is never a good sign. Thankfully, so here's how I gauge how bad a tech problem is, right? If the headphones come off, you're screwed, because that means that this is a long haul. You know, this is a big boy. We're expecting to be here a while, so get those ears nice and airborne, right?
Airborne. What are you doing, cutting them off and throwing them off a bridge?
But then,
airborne.
If the headphones stay on, that's a good sign. Oh, no, hang on. Chris is off. Chris's headphones are off. This is a disaster right then.
Cancel the major. It's over. We're going home.
Oh, no. He's putting them in. Nah, that's it. We're back. We're back on, baby. Let's go. Okay, so we've seen forZe go 3-1 up to kickstart this. Buys coming in for mousesports now, and this is where we get to see our first real look at how these two teams are going to stack up here. I'm curious if we're going to get to see the AWP on Woxic or not.
No. As already highlighted, the money is pretty whack, Harry.
I figured it was, right, because they made a few interesting decisions with the purchase. They went for that buy in the second round as well, obviously after losing the third round after losing the anti-eco. And so that always puts the money in a bit of a dire spot. Would have been a very different story had they lost the pistol, force bought that second round and then gone for a buy in round number 3, you would have had the AWPs, you would have had rifles. That's the downside to losing that anti-eco round. You really do get hamstrung into that fourth round buy.
One of the reasons this has been a bit rough to start is the fact that they bought rifles in round 2 and so many of them. That does multiple things. One, you don't get the SMG kill bonus, okay? And these are all little things, but they add up together, right? So just follow me on this one. One, you don't get the SMG kill bonus. 2, you're spending more money on a rifle, so you're saving less for if you do lose that round. 3, you're giving a rifle to your opposing team when you do lose, which they gave 3 of. They gave 2 M4s and an AUG to forZe in round number 3, or round number 2 rather. So, you know, that's already set mousesports off on a bad foot. Then they forced with Deagle armor. Can't really blame that decision. They had 1,400, but that's every penny of their buy. Usually you'd have a little bit more because you didn't, you know, buy all these rifles or you got some kills with SMGs. But no, they had nothing to show for it. So that's why this first buy coming out in round number 5 is going to be lacking. You know, it's going to be full rifles with smoke, double flash, maybe a kit or 2, but nothing else. Molotovs are going to be lacking, maybe 1, no AWP at all. Not even glass cannon.
Yeah.
So this is how a team like forZe really get a grasp on a game like this. They can easily go 5-1 up right now, win this rifle round, win the anti-eco, then mousesports have the best buy yet. But it's still 5-1, and your T-side's already done on Inferno, really. Anything on top is just, you know, sprinkles.
Yeah. And I mean, like, that's the thing. If you're able to get control over that CT economy so early on, like if you're playing on the T side, you're able to get the CTs in these situations where they have to, you know, take a partial buy and then they get a full buy, and then if they lose that, then they're back onto a partial. Right? If you can just keep repeating that, you can very, very quickly run away with a game. It can be so hard to get back on top of things once you've fallen behind, especially when you're a team like mousesports that can be so reliant on having this AWP in the hands of forZe, especially considering their starting CT side, right? You want to be bringing that AWP out right away, because this is where forZe is going to have the most success with it.
Chris is saving money. He's bought a Deagle here, keeping a grand, so they're going to have that AWP in the future. I like to see that. It's a really, really big call to make. It's not what you want, but that's already a tag. Now you can finish off the job. Chris is down to 10. He's got to be very careful playing with fire, quite literally landing at the feet. Smoke on it, and they're just going to fall back. mousesports want to give up the top of B. They know forZe have a lot of players here, but actually, as I say that, forZe double back towards middle. They're forced to rotate over towards that B site. C-Power going to look for a pick through that blooming smoke, but finds nothing. forZe still wanting to commit towards A, and mousesports have gone for a double short side setup with forZe watching the apartments and Rops from the pit, keeping his eyes up on short. So long is open, but at least forZe is doubling back between the two to keep his eyes trained. Long side smoke. forZe looking to go for this A execute.
Yes, the top mid control taken. Yeah, you're right. Now looking to execute into A on the back of it. Smoke down in pit will keep Rops smoked off. He's trying to find something over the top, but he's only 8 points of health, so they are able to get that trade. They find another, and now forZe, the only man left inside of the bomb site, but he's dropped the bomb. 35 seconds left, and he's buying so much time for these rotations. Jerry is close, but forZe, third kill. He's continuing to put up numbers. Z-Power left up in the 1v3, down in the pit. 2 players low on the other side of things, but he's got to first get past forZe, and he can't manage that. He doesn't need the AWP. He'll grab it anyway, but 4 kills on forZe on sub 10 HP. A massive round there from him. And mousesports getting their second on the board nice and early here in their first buy round.
It's unbelievable. Look at the spray conversion to that second player as well. Just keeps it going. Even gets the reposition into the site before Jerry is there. Doesn't get much better than that, Harry. That was a rough round for mousesports. They only had 2 players on A as well, and one of them was already on a Deagle. forZe now taking the AWP to middle, watching for the walkout, but Z-Power, he's watched the demos, Harry. He knows what's going on. forZe going to get caught early on, and that's not the start that mousesports needed. Still guns to play with, but forZe are the man advantage. Bail out of B and push fast up towards middle.
And so once again, this has forced that rotation out from B very, very early. A third player now here to supplement this A bomb site, and they'll leave Chris J aggressively down at the bottom of Banana. Karrigan, very wide peek into long, and he'll reap the rewards of it. Rop sets him up with a flash from the gods. And this round might have just been stripped away from forZe. It was looking so good with Z-Power picking up that kill early. They finally flush out Karrigan, but they're not able to deal with the man back in bank. That bomb is still under control of mousesports here.
Yeah, that double face from the library as well. forZe's able to get so much damage off, but Jerry's taken the AWP from Woxic's body. Low HP might not be as much of a factor, but he's been flanked. Chris has missed it. Chris hasn't looked in the hallway, and Z-Power's been given more room to move. Issue is he can't get a kill from this position. No one's exposed. He's going to have to drop, and Chris drops Jerry in the meantime. Z-Power last alive. They don't know, but he just threw out a Molotov. That will give away his position, and he's got to drop into Rops. Doesn't go for the backstab instead. Takes the safe route. 25 seconds for him to get this bomb, but forZe's still up in the library, and the second he tries to cross, he's going to be met with him head-on, back-turned instead, and forZe gets the frag. It's mousesports getting a 3-3. This is so back and forth. The multi-kills, Harry.
mousesports actually had a chance as well there to pick up double AWPs, but they decide against it here. I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You definitely can look to bring it out within this team. It's always very, very tempting, I think, when you've got Woxic, Chris J, and Karrigan, all players who can don that AWP proficiently to bring out a double AWP setup, but they do just decide to keep rifles out across the board. Chris J is still on a deagle.
Who needs guns?
He's only had that this game. Woxic going to open up down mid, so we finally see that AWP yielding some results here for mousesports. And that's kind of back to the drawing board here for forZe. It looked like they wanted to try and take that top mid control, and now slowing things down a bit. They have players over in Boiler. I'll flash on over, so they will look for the foothold here with the smokes falling over at Moto and CT. I was going to say they could try and wrap to B, but this is looking like just a fake and now into the B here.
Yeah, but forZe spotted it. He's been jumping on that wall, and he still has a Molotov and a smoke to shut these guys down. Throws them both out. These teasers still coming regardless. Bomb drop from the top, and forZe looking for more. Mid-air, they're just running into the firing line. Chris with a deagle, and this is a done deal. mousesports not losing a single player. This may have been a very rough start, and Harry, we prophesized that, 5-1 lead for forZe, which was still very much attainable, but that 4K round from Woxic has just turned mousesports up. They are looking ready to go. And go they shall. 4 rounds on the CT side. forZe do have a bye coming up.
And I like the placement of that smoke, that underhand smoke that forZe drops. It's just down beneath the boost, so that as you're getting up on top of those barrels, you're actually still blind by the smoke. Yeah. So it makes it very, very hard for the Deegs to get anything done in that situation. Now, Woxic found that Chris J kind of tunnel visioning on the AWP a little bit there, wanted to get it away from forZe. Has now left this entire round up to question. Frozen getting tested. Now, he was able to stand the test of time in the round prior. Does have Karrigan nearby, who sprinkled some damage across the forZe players over at Banana, but they've fallen back. This isn't a B play. forZe's done a good job of repelling this, and now it looks like they want to try and hit this A bomb site, but Mouse, they've got the read, and Karrigan is already here. He's got Rops with him. There's 2 players inside of the A bomb site, and forZe, they don't even know about this second man yet.
Yeah, and they're about to find out the hard way. Rops is waiting on default. Flit's already tagged up, and Rops is waiting for contact. Karrigan makes it first. He'll just double down. Rops isn't needed. The trade is there, but Rops keeps the round alive and even saves the AWP. I'm loving the pace that we're having in this game already. Very fast rounds. forZe really, really decisive with their rotations, even if they aren't necessarily all working out. And mousesports, great example of when and how to disengage. Karrigan gets that kill on long. He instantly just smokes off the corner and just goes, okay, if you want to go CT, you can. Like, it's not my problem. I'm just going to smoke you off. I don't want the trade. I'm going to play with my teammate on the bomb site, and that's what he does with Rops. Him and Rops shutting down the last 3 players up on short. And another round coming through for mousesports. Pause for forZe. But what can they decipher from this quick break?
They've got to try and figure something out as well, right? That's the thing. Like, forZe, they haven't had much to look at in these rifle-on-rifle rounds that they can say has been working for them over and over again. They've been able to take this control over towards top mid, really, until we saw Woxic bringing the AWP out, right? So this time, fast banana play, and they're trying to exploit these kills that they've been able to get on players such as chrisJ at this portion of the map. This time it's forZe to go down, and the rotation coming in from karrigan. We'll see a double man hold still inside of this B bomb site if the push were to come through. But once again, forZe just backing away after finding that first pick. They're not going to run the gauntlet. And I like this, the re-aggression from chrisJ and karrigan. Will they clear out Z Power? Nice flick. He tries to double up. karrigan gets the trade back. And now they're changing their minds once again. It's looking like it will be B after all. karrigan, it's all on you, my friend.
This is such a good call from forZe as well. They just run through the smoke. They don't give a damn. Pistols out, but it's not going to work. karrigan drops 2. Flash as well to follow up. Flicks around the corner, and karrigan's out of ammo. That will be his death, but still a 2-on-2. mousesports have been set up to close out this round, and woxic grabbing another kill. This bomb plant going to be important. Flip plugs in the numbers, but he's got a 1-on-2 to close out. Does have that retrieved AK from earlier in the round, but woxic's ready for the repeat. And mousesports 6 to their name. I love the rotate back from forZe. They realized that they had, you know, maybe 5 to 10 seconds where there would be a solo B set up, and they took it, you know. Kind of sucks they ran through a smoke to their death, but the alternative is wait behind the smoke, and likely there's a rotation in time from mousesports. So forZe don't allow it. They get a bomb plant. They make it interesting. It was only pistols after all, but it's still a mousesports round. Buy coming back for forZe, and the AWP is here for Z Power as well. Top performer of his team, second in the server to karrigan.
And that's been something that's been so interesting to see since karrigan joined this squad. He's had a real upturn in his kind of results individually in these games, right? He's been someone that we so often have been looking towards to occupy the kind of upper end of the scoreboard, right? And these top fragging karrigan games haven't felt like a rarity.
No.
These Molotovs and nades finding good damage, but the kills all going in favor of forZe. It's Almeza and Jerry. They've opened up B, and this time forZe do not waste any time waiting around. They are straight into this bomb site.
Yeah, mousesports may reconsider fighting for this top B control round after round, because it's never favored them. It's only putting them in disadvantages. karrigan flashing through. Will he commit with it, though? With his team flash, he will. Going through the smoke, dropping the bomb. How on earth does he get 2 kills? I don't know. But face crack will be there for the responsive kill. woxic's still up on the coffins, and that smoke's about to fade. He might not even wait for it. He's inside the smoke, waiting for that bomb plant to go down so he can grab a free frag. The flash is in, and woxic goes through. Z Power's not watching. woxic drops the bomb from above, and now it is just Z Power 1v2, 5 HP, and that molly blooms as he runs for the bomb. There was no chance in hell. What a round for woxic, and mousesports keeping up the confusion here. 7-3. Money just there for forZe, but not the rounds.
This has just been great to watch. This has just been like a bit of a masterclass in retaking Inferno, brought to you by mousesports, right? Yeah. Like, they've been losing B, and even when that's been happening, even though they've lost those gunfights over towards top banana in almost every single one of these rounds, they've still gone undefeated since bringing rifles out of their own. So that in and of itself is so impressive, right? Usually, if you're giving away such an important area on the map, like top banana, you're losing your CT side, right? Or struggling or saving a hell of a lot. If you think back to the mousesports of old, they used to be nicknamed save sports, right? Like on Inferno, because they did struggle in those retakes and rotating effectively. And it seems like right now with this squad, we're seeing great rotations out of everyone, right? Even when you deal with the 2 players at top banana, there's always 2 or 3 more waiting inside of the bomb site for your arrival. So this time, peek down mid, goes the way of Z Power, and woxic getting bested. Quite the scalp to find, because he's been so instrumental in a lot of these retakes. And now that you've gotten rid of him, we kind of have to look towards these 2 players that have been over towards B to step up in this round and not fall at that first hurdle. They'll rotate chrisJ away. They leave forZe at top banana alone. Actually over towards CT rather. Rop's up in the apartments, and he might catch the timing here. Playing on the other side of that smoke.
I think the mousesports have to remember is, especially when you're playing up against forZe, smokes aren't walls. So keep your eyes on them, because forZe are going to have no fear to run through. Ops waiting. karrigan's found a kill on Jerry as forZe decide to back off towards that B site. Almeza at the top already. forZe, he's a solo defender here. Just looking to hold on 50 seconds for forZe to get this bomb down.
The second that smoke fades up in the apartments, Rops is clearing all these angles, and so Karrigan's already rotated round. They've already got 2 players here, but they both get bested almost immediately. Not able to come together there to hold back this push from forZe. And it's Rops alone, 1v3. He'll take a peek down Banana. Maybe he finds Z-Power, and if he does, we might see him attempt this. Gets rid of the first man. That's the AWP dropped at the very least, but Rops is just going to play it safe. He'll back away. Oh, is he still going for this?
He knows he can get more exits.
Yeah,
he can't win this
to
round.
Do damage.
Yeah, he knows he can get more exits. It's more likely forZe are going to choose to save in CT spawn because they just saw Rops and Banana, and they don't want to push down Banana a choke point against an AWP. Or maybe they do. Grabbing the AWP, maybe? Yeah, they'll get it. And they'll get down Banana for free as well. Very, very ballsy approach, but hey. Round is still forZe's regardless. So 4 for forZe. At least the AWP is dragged forward. That has been a big impactful weapon here for this T side. As you said, picking up woxic at the start of the round. And the AWP for Rob saved on, so he can throw that back over to the Turkish WP player. Let's see what more forZe have for us. Nice mid-round rotation back to B as they have been really, really good so far for this T side, even though not always successful. They've been making the right call. Just because it's right doesn't mean it always works out. Oh. Barraging the Banana with utility. Chris is actually going to push ahead of this as well. And the flashbang's there, but they're just sprayed to smoke. Don't need eyes, don't need vision. Chris is gone. forZe going to be calling for a rotate as well. woxic will be the first line of defense coming back towards this B bomb site. But forZe, I mean, this is a great, great start for them. 5-on-4, they've burned a lot of utility towards B. There's only 1 flashbang left on this site. They could just go for a straight-up execute, and it seems like they will.
Oh, and they're able to beat woxic on the timing. Frozen over at Nubox, getting burnt out by that Molotov. He finally gets shut down, but it might not matter. woxic in with the double, helped out by Frozen. And now just Z-Power left standing in what was a 1v3, turned into the 1v2. He's got a bit of time to play around with here. Karrigan over in ruins and Rops pushing up through Banana. He's going to try and deal with the man on the flank, but already spotted Rops. Getting some damage off. Karrigan back in CT spawn now. Z-Power desperately looking for him, and he has the read. He's got the information, but Karrigan landing the shot. An 8-4 scoreline. mousesports able to hold on to that one, narrowly so.
God, those 2 individual fights that Z-Power took, he could have won both of them with like just a second difference in the peak, right? If he actually committed to peeking Banana there instead of jiggling, he would have been scoped up before Rops got round the corner to get that dink. So very, very tight timing, but luckily enough, mousesports going to get ahead of it, rather.
I do feel like at some point now, because coming into this, we were really praising mousesports and how they're always able to keep, especially woxic being very, like, very mobile within this map. And you'll note he'll be like the man first up on rotations a lot of the time. It's either him or Karrigan. They're the 2 players that have been making those immediate rotations. I do feel like if you want to have Chris J continuing with this aggression down Banana, or like continuing with these rather overzealous peaks, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw woxic over towards that side of the map and try and contend for that top Banana control a bit more. Instead, they've done the other thing that we were speaking about, and that's pulling Karrigan around to this side of the map. They will have this 3-man Banana hold, and it looks to be that they want to set someone up over at Banana. They throw a lot of utility down there, and then immediately pull Karrigan back. They're hoping that forZe hear and see all of that utility blanketing the Banana and now hit the A-bomb site. And this is still where mousesports have 3 players, thanks to that instant rotation from Karrigan.
forZe are getting flashed out of the apartments here. Karrigan only just got here at the right time. He'll get 1. Rops doubling in it, but face crack, similar story with that Mac-10. Bomb plant coming down, and Almaza might go for this fight. They double face. Rops, can he spray them down? He gets first. Pistol out and tapping down the last. How on earth does he get away with that many kills? I do not know. But 4 frags in the round and 9 to mousesports here on the half so far. That could have gotten very messy as well, right? You're just talking about Karrigan being on B. He was rotating back as forZe are coming out of the apartments. He just gets to default. Only gets 1 kill, but, you know, considering if he wasn't there, forZe could have overrun that bomb site. Could have gotten a whole lot worse. So really coming down to the 1 or 2 second differences here for both teams in a lot of these engagements, but that is all Counter-Strike really is.
Well, yeah, because that's the odd thing. It's a 9-4 scoreline, but it doesn't feel like mousesports have just been blowing forZe out of the water. That said, it's always like the retakes look so damn clean, but it's these first couple of fights that always seem to go the way of forZe, and now we're seeing these returns getting built back into by the rest of Mouse, so it's back into a 4-on-4 now, in spite of that initial advantage going the way of forZe. And let's kind of see if history repeats itself here, as they're finally able to get themselves back in the driver's seat.
And this is a great change from mousesports as well. They throw a lot of utility down banana, and then they just give it up. They just go back towards a B site, because they already have a 4-on-4, now a 4-on-3. And forZe are going to have to commit if they want to get these kills. That they will. The AWP going through, but a missed shot gives away the push. Frozen gets a smoke out in time, but he doesn't get much further than that. The boost up for Chris with a double, and it's just the AWP left up. Not in the hands of Z-Power, though. It's Almazer, 1-on-2. woxic might go through, and he does, getting the kill as the plant comes through, and mousesports double digits in the half. We're not even over, Harry.
You could see that Almazer knew that being up against woxic, he's coming through that smoke.
Every
like, you
time,
could just tell. He starts putting the numbers in, and he's like,
oh, no.
Okay, so I'm going to get pushed with this smoke, but if I'm really fast, maybe I beat him to it. And he almost does, but not quite. He had the read, he knew what was going on, he knew who he was up against. woxic having a phenomenal round of Counter-Strike there.
And just the confidence to do that, right? His teammate wasn't even there in time to flash. Like, if his teammate said to flash and you do it, that's always justified. If woxic dies there, if that was a fake plant, that's a massive mistake. But it works, so more power to him. mousesports 10-4 up. The buys are good for forZe as they have been throughout the game, but the rounds not necessarily. Luckily enough, another advantage taken. They've been so good, as you said, at getting that first kill. And usually going untraded as well. Just the question is, how many more can they get? mousesports again with a double B setup. forZe taking their time on this one. A extremely important round to get the last of the half locked in. But easier said than done. woxic, he's there for the refrag. Face crack going to go down. mousesports straight up back into a 4-on-4. We might just see forZe execute B.
Yeah, they've kind of been hamstrung into it at this point in time. And now as they show their heads, as they rear themselves out from the banana, it's into the prying eyes of Chris J. And with that smoke falling, the Molotov behind it, Flash is now raining in. That's repelled this B attempt from forZe. It's back to mid, back to the drawing board here. Only one man inside of the A-bomb site. That is karrigan right now. woxic is nearby and available for a rotation in towards Arch side. You can see him posting himself up at this side of the map. But that does not change the fact that karrigan, the only man here, the only man inside of the bomb site, so it all falls onto his shoulders once again. He's taken the first down and he's hungry for a little bit more. Smoke out in the apartments. That allows Z-Power to get out to short, but karrigan repositioning, and it's good night to forZe. karrigan sends them packing, get out of his A-bomb site. 3 kills for him at the end of the first half. And it smiles across the board from mousesports. It does feel like the way that the impression I'm getting is they're being very overzealous, very aggressive with these early peaks, and then they just fall back into their standard style if they lose them. Because they did not lose a single man in a lot of those rounds after losing the first. They would just, you know, go straight back to their very rigid default, play around one another. That's all from the first half, though, Hugo. We've still got a whole half of Counter-Strike still to come. forZe trying to pull this back. mousesports trying to close it out. Find out who takes it after a quick break.
11 for the score. mousesports locking in that first half in dominant style here on Inferno. Now, they were on the CT side, but even so, moving forward, forZe are going to have their work cut out for them here on Inferno. Having drinks home delivered as well. How kind.
They're getting the royal treatment right now. Here's the thing, man. I just think, like, we saw a CT side. They would always throw away a man in the beginning, just taking some crazy overzealous peek on the side of mousesports. Whether that was Chris J barreling down Banana or Woxic just straight up challenging down mid in a duel that he was losing a lot of the time, really, right? It wasn't until kind of later in the game that we saw him peeking into that a little bit differently, and instead trying to play like more of a bait and switch with the other guy he was in mid with, occasionally having, you know, like Karrigan or Ops try and bait those shots out from Z Power and then going for the trade. Now moving into their T side, though, where Mouse can be the ones to dictate when and where these fights take place, I imagine we're going to see a very hyper-aggressive mousesports, and that is already looking good in this pistol round. Straight up through mid. They've got themselves one. It's only Face Crack left to get past at this A-bomb site, and Karrigan's in the air, and he still finds him.
That's not fair. You're not allowed to do that. That's just broken. forZe even catching rotations. And I mean, Harry, we talk about Karrigan being good on pistol rounds. I mean, at this point, it's not even just skill. It's also luck. Ridiculous stuff. forZe catching more players moving in through the archway. Eventually finished off, but Almazer is not winning this round. He is on damage control. And I mean, forZe cannot control the damage that is being inflicted upon them right now. 12 rounds to mousesports to the end of this one. And the pistol round going their way. This is going to be a long road to recovery for forZe. Do you remember that mousesports picked up that first pistol and forZe won the subsequent force buy? But even so, winning the pistol here on the T side, forZe, the question is, do they even go for the force here? Would they rather get a sooner rifle round? Because they don't have many options left, Harry. They don't have many rounds left. If you want to go for the force here, you have to eco the follow-up and then buy. Well, you're already down 12-4. You just don't have that breathing room. They're going to go for it anyway. If they win it, it's worth its weight in gold. But if they lose it, it's going to be 14-4 before we see guns.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward for forZe. They try and catch players crossing down in mid. It's Z-Power peeking down, but he doesn't spot anyone apart from that bomb crossing onto Banana late. That is still some information gained, though, for forZe. Karrigan getting tagged up there by the scout over in mid.
Ooh, nice shot.
Actually, that wasn't Karrigan getting tagged by the scout. Sorry, that was a nade raining onto him for 70 damage here at the B bomb site. Man advantage gained for forZe. Some damage done onto the side. Well, either side, actually, at this point in time. But it is mousesports, once again, who look worst off. It seems like they're having a real problem getting past these force buys from forZe.
These force buys.
Force buys.
Re-smokes as well coming down. I mean, forZe have done a good job of investing in this round in the right tools that they need. A real variety of weaponry and another mid-fight going their way. Rops does get a trade, though, up in the apartments. That'll put it back into a 3-on-3. Bomb site conceded, and retake is rolling here for forZe. You just need that plant for Woxic. It's a backside plant, trying to play it safe considering he's tagged up. forZe have one player coming in from the long side of things, two on middle. Now, this AK has to do the damage here for Rops. He is one of the two players with health. Woxic just hiding for the potential clutch of his teammates' fall, but that Molotov might just section forZe off. And a second one, that should surely solidify this round. They are not getting back up through short. Jerry taking a look through the apartments. They do have a kill on Z-Power, but you're really asking for a lot here. I think forZe are just on exits right now. And Woxic may as well run.
Yeah, there's still a very real possibility that you're able to kill the majority of these players inside of the bomb site, right? They find Woxic trying to exit. Frozen and Rops, while they will stay alive, it's still a nice little save from forZe. It gives them something to fight back with in this round, right? They've got some pistols that they can drop over to the two players that died. They've got armor and SMGs on the two players that saved, and then the scout carried forward by Z-Power still from that round prior. So, all in all, you get a pretty decent attempt at a round here if you're forZe. You were able to get it pretty close in the round prior, so... This is a real chance for them to try and find something once again.
He's still, though, Ooh, nice try. I mean, there's a tag. forZe gets hit by the scout down middle, but immediate kill coming through. It's going to be favoring mousesports here as they again pile drive their way towards middle. Facecracker's in the apartments watching the short walk, but he's got to also care about the hallway behind him. Fully white. mousesports already up and past him. He spams away with a deagle, does get one, but here's where we should see Rops activate later and try and get this trade. Jerry's been picked up on rotate. Flip with the SMG coming around fast around the corner, getting himself another kill. It's a 2-on-2 right now. mousesports boxed inside of the site, and it's just Woxic left up. He finds the first, but the second player's already rounded the corner, and Almazer's going to win it out. forZe may not have won the second round for Spy, but the third round eco, Harry, that will very much be in their pocket. And you're right, that save is very valuable.
And now, you know, the AK picked up on Almazy. You can drop an AWP over to Z Power. You've got plenty of money because let's not forget, they were buying this round coming anyway. So, you know, you had everyone with around about $2,000 minimum in those bank accounts when that extra cash flow came in. And suddenly you're looking at a very flushed for cash CT side. This is how forZe can try and build back into this game. They've got to get control of the money. They've got to try and set the pace a bit more here. But it's the first step in the right direction, right? You know, now you're not staring down the barrel of 14 rounds to your opponent before you get that first buy on the board. And this is still recoverable. Likewise for mousesports, because of those 2 rounds, obviously the one before that coming down to just 2 players surviving, and then that one there, everybody dying, they've got no money left. So this is where forZe are looking to build up these bank accounts. This is where you're looking to make all that money. AWP is dropped over into the hands of XE Power.
I just wonder where these nades are going, Harry. Is it a top B spam or is it a mid spam? Maybe a combination. Ooh. Ooh. Just patience, Z-Power waiting for a peek. They're going to give it to him, but there's going to be 4 players coming around this corner. I'm
wondering now what the plan is for these nades more than ever, because it looks like they're trying to bait players to take this aggressive stance on Banana and then follow it up with the nades. And it's really not worked here for mousesports. It was the best laid of plans, but it's all gone so wrong. The crossfire setup between Jerry and Z-Power proves to just be far too much to bear.
Woxic's just picking up all these grenades. There's the third going through, but walking past the smoke, he does go down eventually. forZe lose 1 player. Almazer takes a couple of big old HEs to the chest, but he gets out just fine. 13-5. forZe have put the building blocks to start this comeback, but it's still going to be a long road to recovery. 13-6 rather. No AWP here for mousesports, but it is one of their first buys on this T side, and Z-Power has his. If they win a round, they can grab it off his body. Triple B set up early on again. We're going to see this pretty much, I'd imagine, almost every round for forZe at the start. Send a rotate right back, throw some utility. Take some banana control. Carrigan sits inside of that smoke there. He's going to avoid the nades, not the spam, so got to be careful with that. forZe actually give up the top of B. They'll just fall back passive, not wanting their mistakes to be the same that mousesports had in that first half, where they got constantly bullied at that top car position. mousesports still waiting to execute on A, though, and Carrigan has no utility to fake this B site either, so he might just come in later as a lurk to catch rotations.
With that smoke down, blocking off the player over at Library, the CT wrap is very much a potential for mousesports. They might try and flash flip through. That smoke fades, but dear. Frozen and Co. looking away, primed for that flashbang. Trade found by Z-Power down in the pit. He's offered another chance, and he's almost going to get that. Not quite. They do get by towards the hay bales, but Z-Power continuing to go back in for these. He finally gets laid to rest, and it's face crack now. Back of the bomb site, cornered off and finished. Jerry and Almaze are left standing, and they just bow out of this round. They give it up. 14 for mousesports, only 6 for forZe. I'm getting some flashbacks to the first half, and that is as soon as we see these rifles come out on both sides of the equation, it's mousesports very much setting the kind of pace and tone in these rounds. Also, if you're forZe, you never even spotted karrigan on that very, very late B lurk. So that's still kind of an unknown thing that they threw into that round there. That forZe now won't be able to kind of adjust to nor exploit in these coming rounds. I'm curious if we're going to see karrigan go back to playing in a bit more of a kind of lurk role.
It's a great way for in-game leaders to get information, right? Because they're going to have their teammates commenting what they hear on one side of the map, and at the same time, they're on the other side of the map. So they're getting a completely different set of information. They're hearing different noises, different players. Helps you paint a full picture. Orp even picked up by woxic as well. He finds that in the pit at the end. So Z-Power's missed shots do come back to haunt him, and I imagine they will even into this round as well. woxic working that AWP. Z-Power has his own though. Here's another buy for forZe. It could be their last here, Harry. 14-6. Pressure's on. woxic watching that mid-cross. It's not going to come through. Great utility. The Molotov burns Jerry to a crisp. 100 damage from it. almazir put down to 12 as well. Not catching a break at the top of B. ropz even killing FaceCrack, peeking that window. And forZe, one by one, are getting torn apart.
I think it was it karrigan's molly just did 188 damage to top banana. Killing one player and bringing one of them down to just 12 points of health. And I think it was because it was an interesting lineup that spread onto the top of the half wall. So I don't think Jerry even had any idea he was burning alive. Hiding in this smoke is Flit. He's desperate for something, some edge to give forZe in this round, but he just won't get afforded anything. And now with ropz getting down into the pit, Flit really does have to do all the work here over at short, and they've already gotten by, and the bomb site's crumbled. 3v4 in the retake, and I'm thinking at this point, forZe might just fall back into a save, try and play for the overtime here.
Oh, nothing worse than having to do this up against 14 rounds, but really, what other options do you have? almazir is not going for this one. He's already 12 points of health on the wrong side of the map, and you know, I've got to give credit to mousesports here. This is not just like forZe making silly mistakes or anything. mousesports are playing some fantastic Counter-Strike right now. 15 locked in. One more is all they need. And they will be going to that 1-0 slot here in Berlin. forZe will, at bare minimum, be allowed to save these weapons. mousesports will give them that satisfaction at least. But that's really the only positive to take away right now. 6 rounds for forZe. They are going to need 9 in a row to stop this victory for mousesports to bring us to overtime. And even then, it will be under question. We've had a comeback from 15-6 today, but I don't know. I'm not holding out for this one, Harry. Ooh.
Yeah, Christian catching that nade over at banana. There might be a follow-up from almazir as well, so karrigan's actually going to dodge that somehow. Gets away damage-free. FaceCrack deciding to, I was going to say bow out of the apartments, but no, he's kind of toying with the idea of going for this aggression now. He might come to regret that as ropz does lie in wait. Flash goes over the top. karrigan peeking with it. Will get traded by Jerry. FaceCrack's going to deal with ropz over in the apartments, but this B play's come in the meantime, and it's torn the site in half. Everyone's deleted at this side of the map, and now the rotation's having to come through from forZe. That bomb has not even left T-ramp yet, so it's going to be a little while till it gets into the bomb site. And this has given time to forZe, but woxic's fully flashed, and he somehow still found that kill. He's looking for even more. Flash goes in. He's blind again, and I was going to say he cannot follow up for the second time. They finally shut him down. It's FaceCrack alone to try and keep the dream burning for forZe, to try and keep the dream alive. 1v2 required. Bomb down, out in the open, it's ticking away. He does have a kit to work with, but no utility to force these fights. But Chris J, his big feet have betrayed him. He spots it under the door, and now the 1v1. forZe over in CT, a smoke down for the cross, and face crack. No time here, tapping on that bomb, trying to bait the peek out from forZe, and he's just not budging. Now making his presence known, and mousesports take the win. 16-6, dominant as ever here, as they managed to close out Inferno in a pretty quick, pretty clean fashion. forZe, I don't feel like we really got to see what this team is made of just yet.
Yeah, honestly, mousesports just made forZe look bad, Harry. That's how it feels right there. I mean, even little things like Flick going for that peek there in, with the flashbang to Woxic, right? He checks the corner and then he looks away, not even convinced. Then looks back. By that point, he's already dead. Just little mistakes from forZe, and you could definitely see the cracks were showing, and I can't blame them. mousesports really blew them out of the water there, and this is the mousesports that we came to see here, Harry, in Berlin. They certainly are showing up to our expectations.
Yeah, most definitely, right? You can see all that kind of prep is paying off, because they're looking so like well drilled. You can just tell that everyone has such a good understanding of how they should be playing in a lot of these situations. And like, everyone's got their spots to check, everyone's got their corners to keep an eye on, and they're all just sticking to these roles. And that's why I feel like we're maybe seeing karrigan actually go off on his own a little bit more as well, because this is a team that's very clearly listening to the game plan 100% and is all on the same page. And I find that they're the ones where these kind of like lurking IGLs can have the most success, right? Because if your team aren't going to trust in the call 100%, if they're not going to communicate everything to you, that's when it kind of falls apart, right? Because then your lurker isn't really having any impact. karrigan there, he had the boys with him and was leading the charge, by the way. 24 kills within the server. Wow. And he had the rest of the gang stepping up in spades behind him. So massive stuff. The thing that I really want to draw attention to is you can see the entry kill difference between these guys. And that is because forZe had the man advantage in, I'm going to say, over 50% of the rounds in that game, even though they end up losing it in a very one-sided fashion.
Yeah, maybe not so much in the second half, but in the first half, yeah, they were just winning that AWP fight so many times versus Woxic. He did get a couple of kills here and there, but by and large, you are right. It was forZe an advantage. Yeah, and then, you know, just failing to exec into a B site or something, or just getting shredded by an early rotation. Just really good calls from mousesports. Read the game very well. They knew where forZe were at any point in the map. So yeah, I can't wait to see more of mousesports moving forward. Inferno is looking like a terrifying map to play them against. Just the sheer confidence, right? These smoke pushes, the fact that they just don't give away bomb plants. karrigan, as said, I mean, you need to keep mentioning him. He's got so many multi-kills to his name. And as you can see, the standings are really starting to take a toll here, Harry. Every team has played a game apart from two. Avangard and Complexity are currently playing, but up next here on this stream, we do have Crazy versus Greyhound, and that's going to be exciting as well to see where we can place those two rosters.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, there's a lot of unknowns with these two squads in particular. I feel like this game of the day is the one for me that I just have a huge question mark by. Crazy have looked, you know, like, so they were playing under the banner Valiance and co. Obviously, they were looking good. They were rising throughout the year, like an astronomical rise, really. You know, like they went from being a team of like players who just kind of been like grinding out, swapped around a bit. Obviously, we had the mushing of Valiance and co. and Imperial, right? And then obviously that went on to become Crazy. I feel like since being under this Crazy banner, we haven't seen as strong results as usual from them, but I still feel like they are real contenders to take a top, or like get out of this stage at least and move on to the next.
Yeah.
And for Greyhound, obviously, the question mark is the whole visa problem with Urkos, and obviously the fact that he's having to step down from that team. This is his last ride with the boys. Yeah, that's a good point. That being said, right, usually we have these situations where it's like a player knows they're being cut or whatever, and it's typically like they're still going to try their best because they want to advertise themselves. Look at Daps on NRG, for example. I mean, the last few weeks with NRG, when he realized he was being cut, he played amazingly, right? So it gives you that another spark of motivation, I guess. At least for Urkos situation, it's not like he's been cut. It's just a very unfortunate visa situation. Yeah. So he's still, I'm sure, going to play his heart out, and hopefully we can still see Greyhound find a solution to that problem. But that's all for the future, Harry. Yeah.
We're going to get into that game a little bit later on, as of course Crazy versus Greyhound will be our next matchup on this stream. So do not go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes for the last game for me and Harry today.